Hey, welcome back to my channel. I am Geneva, the Empty Nesting Diva, and this is my sixth video. Today I'm just going to be talking about what I have learned in the last 30 days. It's been a little more than 30 days since I've been on YouTube. I posted my first video December 22nd, and it was like a just start, just me talking. And then more recently I posted a video maybe 2 weeks ago, and that video, that's the video I'm the most proud of. I feel like my personality started to come through. I'm not as shy anymore. Like the first couple videos, I was talking, I was doing well, but I was still very shy. I was still very scared. But now I'm like a little more settled. I can show a little more of my personality, and that actually makes me happy. In that time, at the time that I recorded my last video, I had 5 new subs plus my children, so I had a total of 7. After my last video, my channel started to get a little weird. So I would get like 3 subscribers, and then I would lose 5, and then I would get 2, and then I would lose 3. And so it's like, what's going on? So every now and then I would see videos from creators, and they would be talking about how to grow your channel and such. And so I was watching a video from Elevate with Tate. I really do like her channel. She said, comment down below with the number of subscribers you have currently and something else. So I just replied, and I was just like, okay, I have 7 subscribers, and I'm just learning and growing, kind of finding and fumbling as I go along. From that, I started to get people commenting like, oh, subscribe. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm assuming these people are also small creators. So if I looked at their page and saw that they had content, I would just subscribe right back. But what started happening is I would subscribe to them, and as soon as I subscribed to them, they would unsubscribe from me. And at first I was like, oh, that's so messed up. Like, they're treating me like I'm a fan. No, I want to unsubscribe from them too. And I started to get upset, and that kind of caused me to get discouraged in my journey. And then I was like, you know what? No, I have to change my perspective on this, right? We entered into a sub for sub type agreement based on the overall view of that channel. Just because they made the decision not to uphold their end of the agreement doesn't mean that I shouldn't uphold mine, because karma is real, right? If we go into an agreement together and I have pure intentions and you don't, my karma based on how I treat you is going to be one way, and your karma for how you treat me is going to be a different way, because I personally believe that your blessings match your intentions. If you're a person that's out here with good intentions and you just approach everything with good in your heart, I feel like your blessings that come to you are going to magnify the goodness that's within you. And if you're just trying to, rip people off or, manipulate people into helping you, and you have no interest in really helping them, then I feel like your blessings will kind of be a little different. That's my opinion. That's how I approach life. And so at that point, it was just like, okay, if I agreed to sub for sub, so I'm gonna stay sub. Even still, I'm subscribed, but I do not watch content that doesn't interest me. I don't watch content that doesn't inspire me. That's just not what I do. Subscribers are a big part of getting monetized, and I feel like everybody wants to get monetized, right? So if I can help you get monetized just by subscribing, I'm going to do that. And if you make content, if it comes up in my feed and I see something that you're talking about that's interesting to me, I'm going to watch it. One thing though, I have to start remembering to like the videos that I watch. I always forget, especially when I'm watching YouTube on my TV. I always forget. And likes are very important into pushing people into the algorithm. So that's that. I started to feel discouraged. That's also why I haven't made a video in a while. While I'm still very excited about YouTube, there's some ugly sides to it, and it really kind of got me down just a little bit. I'm also dealing with like some personal things. I've been dating someone for a little over a year, and I'm starting to realize that this is not the person for me. But while I'm starting to realize it, I'm also struggling with accepting it. And that's a real thing. And I think that I'm going to discuss that. I think I'm going to record the video today and post it later on in the week. Going through it right now, so the emotions might be very raw and I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I might record it, see how it is. If it's not too crazy and I'm not too emotional, like if I cry a little bit, I'll shed a couple tears and then edit the rest out. But I don't want to be like mean spirited or try to put this person down. And that's something else that I realized too, is that I struggle with speaking on the things that happens to me. When things happen, and the person that the other person, the other party will usually, go around and share their side of the story, and I'll just stay quiet. I've never said out loud any of the things that I've been through. I went through a terrible divorce with my kid's father, and when I tell you it was bad, it was so bad. My self-esteem was in hell for 3 years. It was that bad. And he told his side of the story to everyone, and I never said a word. I've gone no contact with multiple members of my family, 2 of my sisters, 1 of my cousins, my aunt. They've all communicated with each other about, what has happened, and they have a narrative, but I've never shared my side of the story of why I have chosen to no longer have contact with these individuals. Also, one of my really good friends, our friendship fell apart, and I kind of realized that I was more invested in the friendship than she was, and it hurt me bad. Even behind that, I cried behind the loss of that friendship for like 6 months, at least 6 months, like just crying. It hurt me so bad. And she has gone around and said all kinds of things, and people have approached me and asked me about the things that she has said, and I'm just like, well, my response is always just, this is someone that I once loved as a sister, so I'm not going to badmouth her. The friendship is over. There were some things that I didn't like. I communicated that I didn't like them, and there was no resolution. So I asked why this was happening. Why is this happening? Why are you being this way towards me? She wouldn't respond or give me an answer that satisfied what I felt should, And so it was just like, okay, well then I guess we can no longer be friends. And it hurt me really, really bad. But if you're not my friend, then you know what, like, what are we gonna do here? Like, we're too old for this, right? So yeah, but that's one of the things that I have to work on, and I want to do it. I want to do story times on this channel where I do share those things, because I realize that I've been sacrificing my peace by holding it in. And I also realized that I actually do have some suppressed rage behind my feelings of these situations that I have not expressed. And I'm not in a sense of like, I'm just going to start like beating people up or getting crazy and cursing people out. No. But at the same time, like when one thing upsets me, it will be so minor, but my reaction will just be so like grand, like, some minor inconvenience, and I'll just be in my bed crying and so like hurt, because every minor inconvenience just brings back all of those feelings of the hurt that I just have not dealt with and have not expressed. So I need to start. I'm scared just because I just feel like when you focus on negativity, you attract more negativity. And so I just want to keep moving forward, but we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, though, like I said, my last video is the video that I was most proud of. And I have been checking my analytics on YouTube, and your girl's in the algorithm. Your girl is in the algorithm. My last video got 370 something impressions. So my video came across 300 plus screens on the YouTube channel. And I'm just like, what? 300? Now granted, they didn't click, they didn't watch. I still only have 8 views, most likely because my thumbnail was ugly, but that's okay. Like, it's okay. I'm in the algorithm. I'm making progress. So that's one thing that I learned and I am going to work on is my thumbnails. I downloaded Canva the day before yesterday, and I started playing around with it. It's actually, 1, not that hard. 2, it's free. And 3, it's actually kind of fun. Like, it is fun. I enjoyed it. I was doing it. I was up late. I couldn't sleep. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just download this and see how see if it's easy or difficult or what. And I actually really did enjoy it. The next thing I learned though in watching that video and in editing it is that I almost never complete a thought. I'll be like, number one, because number one, and then like 5 seconds later, it's because number one, and then again, because number one. And it's like, girl, where's number two, number three? But like, because I'm not scripting what I'm saying, I'm talking just from the heart, from the gut, that's the reason why I just don't follow through. So that's something else I have to work on. The other thing I have to work on is just focusing on looking at the camera. I tend to look away or turn my head a lot. I'm pretty sure I've done that already multiple times in this video. Also, all the different kind of faces that I make. I'm always very excited. It's so crazy because when I turn my camera on, I become like a little schoolgirl. Like everything is just like so excited. I'm like, I want to just laugh and giggle, and I don't know why. But I like the feeling, so I want to get on and record all the time. But at the same time, things happen that just make me feel just discouraged. Or a couple times I could have just gotten up, put the camera on, and started recording, and I was just in my bed like, nobody's gonna watch me anyway. Like they don't care. And it's like, well, that's not true, because right now I have 9 subscribers, which means that take away the 2 that I gave birth to, I have 7. So I gained 2 more subscribers since my last video, and that is good. That is good. Now, I did lose quite a few because it just kept going. I went from 7 to 9 to 10 to 9 to 5 to 9 to, and right now I'm sitting at about 9. So thank you very much to the 7 people who do not know me personally but have chosen to follow me. I appreciate it so much. Like I said, I'm so excited. This is a very exciting experience for me, and it's part of my journey to, change my life and increase my self-esteem, increase my confidence, and just to nurture my creative side that has been suppressed for so long. I lost myself so many years ago, and I'm working on finding her again. Maybe that was 2018. I kind of stopped. That's when I really just stopped focusing on my appearance. So that was one. But then at the same time, I was more focused on my finances. So I started growing my financial life and changing that outlook. I also was more focused on my children after that point. And so I stopped nurturing parts of me so that I was available to pour into my children. I poured every ounce of everything I have in my children, and I'm seeing the results now, and it makes me happy. It makes me sad too, because now, like just now, I called my son before I started recording. So I called him and he texted me like, Mom, I'm at work. I can't talk right now. What's up? And I'm like, I beg your pardon. I'm your mother. Like, what do you mean you can't talk because you're at work? Like, but that's the reality that we're living in, right? My kids are adults now, and I have to like accept it. But yeah, it's like I can see my hard work. I see my dedication when I look at them. But at the same time, it's still like, oh my gosh, like they're grown. And it's really a shocking revelation when you realize that you've created and grown and nurtured these amazing human beings, but you didn't nurture the most important human being, which is you. I have not been nurturing myself. I have not been pouring into myself. And now with this channel and with you guys supporting me, I'm excited to start pouring back into me. In updates, I mean, you guys have been looking at it the whole time. If you watched my last video, I was very excited to go see Day 26. I went to see them last night. I love those men so much. I love them. Back in the day, I used to go everywhere that they were. Every show. If they were here, I went. If they were in Philly, I went. If they were in Baltimore, I went. Every concert, the after party, I went. I was always in every single VIP room, to the point where they would recognize me. Yesterday when they saw me, they didn't recognize me. But at that time, and actually one of them spoke on it in an interview, they were like, Day 26 fans are very different. Like, they don't come to one show, they come to all the shows. talking about me and my sister mainly, but there was like, I made friends because it was a group of girls that we were the same way. Like, we met here in New York, and then we would be like, oh, you going to Baltimore? Oh yeah, let's go, girl. We road trip. We would go. That was a very fun time in my life. But yes, I went to see them. Did I vlog? No. I was supposed to carry my DJI. I punked out. I did. And I regret it so bad because they didn't even hardly check me. Like, they checked my bag and they were like, okay, yeah, go. And I'm like, are you serious? So I was scared because I've been reading like venue policies, and most venues allow cameras, but they don't allow professional cameras. And I don't know if a DJI is considered a professional camera. It's also like the video capabilities, which I feel like every device has recording capabilities now. So I don't know if that becomes a big deal. I'm kind of scared because that last night actually would have been a good time for me to test that theory, because I was able to park very close to the venue. So if they would have said like, I'm sorry, you can't come in with this, I would have just been like, okay, I'm gonna put it in my car and come back. And that would have been fine. But I punked out at the last minute. However, I did vlog, so I'm starting a new contract. I'm actually going to talk about that more in a separate video, but I am a travel technologist, and I'm starting a new contract. So I decided I'm going to create a vlog about that experience and getting prepared to start a new contract, how to find a contract, all those kind of things. So that's going to be coming soon. Once I get settled and I actually start the contract, I'll make the first video where I go over it. So I did vlog some of that, and it's actually been fun. Going outside with my DJI, in some places I kind of get a little nervous still because I'm getting used to it, especially when people look at me weird and they're like, what are you doing? Like, what do you have? But I realized there's a lot of content creators here in New York City, and they go around there about their business without a care in the world. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can totally do this. Like, I gotta stop being a little punk. I can do this. So there's that. I also did my first grocery haul, and I'm gonna actually insert that at the end of this video, just so that I can see what you guys think of it. And if you think that's interesting, if you could please like leave me a comment that says like, yeah, girl, you should totally share this information. That would be cool, because I do watch Siobhan Melanie on YouTube, Siobhan Melanie TV. That's the name of her channel here on YouTube. And she always does it. She's a mom with like, I think she has 6 children, and or wherever she goes, and she'll just shop along the way, and then she'll like line everything up on her table, and then like just discuss what she bought and kind of a little bit of why she bought that. And I always like those. I like those videos. So I'm like, okay, yes, I'm gonna do one. I also tried one of her recipes because she made like a string bean sausage and potato casserole type of dish. And I've been working on eating things that I didn't eat before. And like, I used to love string beans, but then when I had children, my children hated string beans. So I stopped eating them. I used to cook with like onion, green pepper. My children hate onions and green peppers. So I stopped cooking with them. Or like, a lot of my cooking style changed because of my children. But now my children are adults and they're out in the world, and so I can start to make the things that I like again. But it's been 20 years. My daughter is 20. So in 20 years, I've kind of had to like, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember how to make these things anymore. But I'm excited that I can find new things to make. So I tried the recipe, chef's kiss. It was so delicious. I made it not exactly the way that she made it, because as a Gemini, and if you're a Gemini, you know, we don't like being told what to do. We don't like it. The more you tell us what to do, the more we don't want to do it. So like alter it to my own taste with like my seasonings. I bought the exact ingredients that she bought. Well, not really, because she used cut green beans, and I used whole green beans. That's the only difference. But I bought the same sausage, and she used yellow potatoes. I used red potatoes because I love red potatoes. So I did that. But and also she used water in hers, but I used chicken broth in mine. So little stuff like that that I changed around. but I really did enjoy it. It was so delicious. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to try more of her recipes. And I mean, I guess you could say it's her recipe because she gave me the idea, but I tweaked it so much that it's just like, okay, girl, you just made green bean casserole. And I like that she's doing this on her channel because it gives me more ideas of things that I can make, because I do meal prep. And one thing about meal prepping, you get tired of eating the same 5 or 6 dishes all the time. That's just the reality. You get tired, and then I sometimes just fall off the wagon, and I'll just go a whole week where I just buy food out because I'm just tired. I want a pizza. I want some Chinese food, or my absolute personal favorite, Chick-fil-A. Oh my gosh. Chick-fil-A is one of those places, if I'm having a bad day, like if we're out, if I'm at work or whatever, and someone pissed me off, I'm just gonna take a walk to Chick-fil-A on my lunch break. Once those fries hit my system, my mood goes from like a 0 to an 8 from the first bite. I love me some Chick-fil-A. Which brings me to my next point though. The whole DEI situation. There's so much to say. I want to tread lightly because I don't want to offend anyone or get too political, because let's be honest, like, we're going through enough already. January has been a crazy 2025. I don't know, I feel like February should just be 2026 at this point. So much has happened in the month of January. What's happening in our country is very scary and it's very sad, but I am going to control the things that I can control, and I'm going to allow the other things to just happen, right? With the announcements of the DEI rollbacks from certain companies, mainly Target, people are really upset and people are talking about boycotting. And for me, I feel like boycotting worked in the days of segregation because we had ours and they had theirs. Everything is so intermingled that you can't just hurt one person. Like back then, when they boycotted the buses and such, there were no black bus drivers that were going to be affected, right? It just wasn't going to happen. There were no business owners within the transportation system that were going to be affected. It was only the other group. But in this case now, if we completely boycott Target, and this is my opinion, what about all of the black-owned businesses that are in contract with Target, right? Tabitha Brown is one of them. I can go off some names. I would have to look them up, but Tabitha Brown is the one that sticks out the most. But Lip Bar, I always forget the CEO's name. I just remember that she is a rattler. Hey fam, you rattlers. But she's another person. Play Pits is another black-owned business. And as someone who has been shopping black businesses for a very long time, I actually have a separate bank account where I put $100 from every single paycheck that I get. And if I come across a black business and I'm not supposed to necessarily be shopping because it doesn't fit in my budget, I have a separate account that I can spend from to support them. But back in like 2018, 2017, there was like this huge complaint that, when you shop at black businesses, you have to pay for shipping. They can't give you free shipping. Like, why do I have to pay for shipping? I don't have to pay for shipping at Target. Well, that's because this person is not Target. They don't have access to mass produce. They can't mass produce. So sometimes you place an order and you won't get that order for 6 weeks. And you want to buy a $12 conditioner, but you have to pay $9.99 for shipping. That was kind of the reality for black businesses. And so people were using that, I don't want to say as an excuse, but those were the reasons that people were shopping at Target and Walmart and not black businesses. And then you get around to say 2019, 2020, you start seeing our Creole Essence, The Dew. Those are both hair companies that I like. You start seeing Tabitha Brown with her kitchen line. You start seeing Lip Bar. You start seeing all of these companies wanting to get into Target. Why? Well, because if you order from their business on Target.com, they get to keep the costs low because Target absorbs those costs. They get mass production, mass promotion, So that works for them in their favor. They're not overwhelmed trying to keep up with this demand of orders. But Target will ship it overnight for free. So you're getting it quick. Instead of having to wait 6 weeks for these businesses to send it to you, you get it overnight. Instead of paying $9.99 for shipping, you get it for free shipping. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to pay the shipping charges, but it used to burn my soul to pay those shipping charges. I hated it so much. The highest form of disrespect to me from a retailer is to charge me for shipping. I hate it. But for a Black business, for a Black owned business, I will pay it. No matter how much it is, I will pay it. Anybody else, I will add more. I add more stuff to my cart so that I don't have to pay. Like, I'm that person. It's like, oh, I just bought $100 worth of merchandise, $10 for shipping. Yeah, never mind. I'm very much that person. But it's something that I had to grow out of. Also, getting my products in a certain amount of time. I'm used to, if I order it today, today's Friday. Okay, so over the weekend doesn't really count, but I'm used to having it by Wednesday. When I used to order from Honey's Handmade, which I pray, side note, their site has been down all month and I'm really sad about it. And I'm praying that it comes back up because I'm out of leave-in conditioner. That's another story for another time. But Honey's Handmade is one that comes to mind. I used to wait so long for those products to come that I would forget I even ordered them. Like, I would be ordering, and what would happen is I would order in like large batches just to make sure that I didn't run out, because it was just like, oh my goodness, like, when am I going to get this package? But they were overwhelmed. Like, their system was overwhelmed. And it's like, yes, you can say, yeah, just buy from their website. Every Black owned business has their own website. And yes, you can do that. Absolutely. But when we overwhelm their system that they have in place, then we have to be willing to accept that it's not going to be quick. We're going to have to pay for shipping because they are going to be overwhelmed. That's all I'm saying. That was my point. But I was getting a lot of negativity back from people who disagree with me. Anyone who wants to boycott, I'm not saying don't. I understand if you want to. I understand it completely. And I also understand if you want to do targeted buying. But let's be very, very clear. And this is another thing that I say. To me, if you buy melanated Band-Aids instead of buying Browndages, you are part of the problem. Because Band-Aid never gave a crap about making different skin tones for their Band-Aids until Browndages hit the market and took off. And that's why I will forever buy Browndages. And I don't trust anyone who has melanated Band-Aids. And my son actually went to Walmart not too long ago because he needed more Band-Aids. And he bought melanated Band-Aids. And I saw them sitting on his desk when we FaceTimed one day. And I was like, I beg your pardon, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's just some Band-Aids. I'm like, no. Why didn't you buy Browndages? He's like, what's Browndages? And I'm like, you have to be kidding me. Where do you think those Band-Aids in your first aid kit came from? He's like, oh, I thought you bought them at Walmart. I'm like, what does the front of your first aid kit say? Browndages. Exactly. Why didn't you call me? He's like, it's just Band-Aids. No, it's more than just Band-Aids. It is them taking our ideas. If we never did that, if Browndages never came out with melanated Band-Aids, Band-Aid would still be in one color. Same way, all of these makeup companies were neglecting the in-between shades of melanin. It was like we could almost never get our exact match. We always had to settle for something a little lighter or a little darker. And then Rihanna came with her 22 shades. Oh, baby, now everybody want to have 22 shades because people were, it was selling out because it's like, oh my gosh, this is my exact shade. What? Like, how? And she starts selling out. And so now all the other companies want to be more inclusive. But these are kind of things that you have to consider, like, right? Sephora also rolled back their DEI. But so if you want to go to Sephora, what happens to Fenty in Sephora? Right? Like, granted, Rihanna is under the LVMH umbrella, so she's not likely to be affected at all, whether you boycott Sephora or not. But the ones that are, mom and pop and just at home and working out of their kitchens and their living rooms, and they're going to be overwhelmed. If 1,000 of us just place an order today, it will take them at least a month to get that 1,000 orders out. and they're gonna have to charge all 1,000 of us for shipping. And then what happens? Then people want to complain, and now they don't want to buy. It's like we just have to be more strategic, I think. That's my opinion. I've had a lot of negative things said to me in my comments. I've had to block a couple people. I've had to leave a couple Facebook groups because I'm just not going to tolerate it. I'm never, ever, ever. One thing nobody could ever say about me, I don't say negative things about anyone for any reason. If I feel that strongly about you that I want to say something negative to or about you, I'll just walk away. I will just walk away. And that's just it. I'm never, every now and then I will express how I feel, but if I can't express how I feel without trying to put you down in any way, then I just won't even bother. I'll just walk away. That's not that good. So yeah, that's something else that I learned. I just did it again. But something I happen to do, and it's like a nervous thing of mine. It's like I'll scratch my ear, or I'll do this or those things. These are things that I realized in my last video, which is why I'm so proud of it. It's like, wow. But even now, me talking, you can tell that I'm just spilling my guts because I'm like going all over the place. It's something that I have to work on, but I am going to work on it. But in the meantime, I am still very, very excited to talk to you all. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I learned. So the things that I learned, one, I'm in the algorithm. Holla for dollars. Thank you all very much. 2, thumbnails matter. Gotta get some better thumbnails. I'm going to be using Canva to create mine. I'm actually going to create one today. 3, titles matter. The last video I had, I was a little more strategic with my titling. I titled it TikTok Ban, 5 Below Viral Mirror, and Chit Chat. So I think that's what kind of got me a little bit more into the algorithm, because TikTok ban was a very popular trend. The 5 Below mirror has also been a very popular trend. So titles are very important. I figured out that I'm in the algorithm. I figured out that the whole sub for sub thing is a scam. But my channel is growing. Like I said, I did gain 2 new subscribers since my last video. I'm so excited. That makes me so happy. I also was looking at my 5 videos like together, and I realized the difference in my skin is crazy. My nails are still not done. I decided to wait, but my face, looking at my first video to now, I'm like, wow, it is a big difference. I do have some dark spots. Like I have one here. I think I have one here and one here. I do have those because, ladies, we go through the we go through stuff, and sometimes our face breaks out because of it. I also think that as I get further into my skincare, I will have some breakouts, because what I'm doing is kind of drawing out more and more of the toxins from my face, and they create dark spots because I have a bad habit of picking. I really have to stop doing that. I just don't know how. I'm going to insert the grocery haul. I'm gonna tell you from right now, my hands was dry. And the reason why my hands was dry, so when I come into my house, the first thing I do is take off my shoes. The second thing I do is walk to the bathroom and wash my hands. So I was in that weird phase of like, I came in the house, so I just washed my hands real quick so that I could get to doing what I have to do. And as a microbiologist, I'm a little bit of a germaphobe. Clock that T. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick overview of what I got. I did go to Stop and Shop, and then I realized I forgot a couple things on my way home, so I stopped at Key Food, and now here we are. So let's get started. I got 2 of the Pure Leaf lemon flavor. I have 1 jug of water. I did get 2 of the Starbucks medium roast unsweetened, along with this Chobani peppermint mocha coffee creamer, some bread, some string beans, ground beef, chicken, some beef sausage, some chili mix, kidney beans, tomato paste, some garlic and onion powder, an onion, some potatoes, some extra virgin olive oil, chicken broth, and a 12-pack of toilet paper. My total for the week is $87. I am trying to budget, so I want to try to bring that down as much as possible. I went to see the SZA and Keke Palmer movie one of them days. Oh, I loved it. It was so good. SZA is another person. She could do no wrong in my eyes. I know people say a lot of things about her. They say she lies a lot and blah, blah, blah. I love SZA. Love her down. Her music speaks to me in a way that no artist ever has. And a lot of people that have been watching me prior will say, and even people that know me are like, as much as you're obsessed with Beyonce, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Beyonce is top tier. She is kind of becoming my number one. As of right now, Michael Jackson is still number one. It's still Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Kanye West. The thing with SZA, the thing that SZA does that Beyonce doesn't do, SZA speaks to my insecurities. Beyonce tells me all the reasons that I'm a baddie and I shouldn't even have insecurities. I need to get out there and get it done. That's Beyonce. SZA is more like, girl, me too. You be in your bed crying over that man, girl, me too. You've done horrible things in your past and you have trouble reconciling it, girl, me too. That's SZA. And so she just touches my spirit in a different kind of way. I just feel like her and I grew up the same. Like, I feel like her and I live the same life and she gets me. And her music, like, literally says everything that I've always wanted to say and just could never find the words to say. That's what SZA is.
For Big Mike, for Willie, for Rob, for Q, for Day 26. Day 26.